My name is James Sperandio, the president and founder of Intrinsic Foods. Grains are often referred to as the staff of life. In fact, the food pyramid places them at the base or the foundation of the diet. This was not always the case. The consensus of scientific opinion is that prehistoric man was a hunter-gatherer. During the prehistoric period of hunter-gathering, which was most of mankind's existence, grains were a minor part of the diet. Experts have theorized that the development of agriculture occurred approximately 7,000 to 10,000 years ago. This development of farming, the activity of planting crops, replaced gathering and significantly altered the content of the human diet. As a result of farming, grains became a significant source of calories. This constituted a major change in human nutrition. In 1.75 to 2 million years of human existence, grains have only been a significant source of nutrition for the past 7,500 to 10,000 years. With agriculture, grains were available in abundance. From the earliest of times of agriculture to approximately 125 years ago, the technology with respect to the manufacture of cereal grains did not extensively vary. Primitive stone tools were originally utilized to grind flour. Until modern times, the only differences were the size of the stone and the method of propulsion, which became wind, water, or animals. Another significant factor was that grains were stored as whole kernels, and when the grain was ground to flour, it was consumed in a short time after the grinding process. In most American cities and in Europe, grist mills existed in every town and hamlet, where grains were locally ground for consumption on a daily basis. In the 1870s, steel mill rolling was developed. Grains could be ground quickly and in great quantity. This technology, coupled with the introduction of mechanical reapers to harvest wheat, resulted in a radical change in the manner by which Americans consumed grainstuffs. Grains were now ground in bulk and stored as flour and not grain kernels for future use. Industrial farming was inaugurated. Understanding the health consequences of this change in the way grains are processed, stored, and distributed involves a small amount of science. A cross-section of a wheat kernel shows two basic internal partitions: the germ, where the oils and most of the antioxidants and enzymes of the grain are found, the endosperm, where the starch is stored, and an outer hull that surrounds the intact grain, preventing penetration of oxygen into the delicate germ layer where the fragile oils are contained. The polyunsaturated fats in the germ layer of the grain are unstable in the presence of oxygen and spoil or become rancid rapidly. When the polyunsaturated fats in the grains react with atmospheric oxygen, they produce peroxides that many scientists believe have negative impacts on health. To summarize, because unground whole grain seeds have their outer protective hull intact, they are not predisposed to spoilage. Grinding grains destroys the protective layers, thus compromising the grain's biological stability and allows rancidity to take place with the protective layers destroyed. The destructive products of rancidity or oxidation of fat, called peroxides, can then form. In the day that grains were ground and consumed locally and immediately, this would not have been an issue. Today, in the age of industrial farming and the long-term storage of grains as flour, the issue of rancidity must be considered. Rancidity is the result of oxidation of oils in the grains. The impact of oxidized fat on health has been known for decades, but has been heretofore given little attention by healthcare practitioners or scientists. It has been known for over 65 years that polyunsaturated oils, such as those found in the grain seed, undergo oxidation when exposed to atmospheric oxygen. Cummings and Mattel in 1931, in an article entitled "The Auto-Oxidation of Fats," with reference to their destructive effects of vitamin E in the Journal of Nutrition, first noted this. Cutler and Hayward in 1974 studied the impact of oxidized fats on laboratory animals. The deleterious effects associated with the consumption of moderate amounts of oxidized fats included damage to the intestinal mucosa with necrotic changes, malabsorption syndrome, impaired absorption of fat, and the inhibition of enzyme systems. Knudsen and Johnson in 1973 noted that the consumption of oxidized corn oil by laboratory animals resulted in focal myocarditis and fibrosis of the heart. It has also been noted decades ago that oxidized fats can interfere with the absorption and function of vital nutrients such as vitamin E, biotin, keratin, and folic acid. A recent study published in the journal Cereal Science by scientists at the University of Copenhagen notes the superiority of stone ground flour as compared to roller milled flour with respect to antioxidant content. The authors state the total loss of vitamin E during storage was 24% for stone milled wheat flour, but 50% for roller milled wheat flour. These results indicate that vitamin E, which is present in high amounts in wheat germ, functions as an antioxidant in stone milled wheat flour. This concept is not new. In 1991, scientists at McGill University in Toronto, in a paper entitled Nutritional Characteristics of Organic Freshly Stone Ground Sourdough and Conventional Breads, annotated several studies that suggest that flour starts to oxidize immediately upon being ground. These researchers also noted studies on laboratory animals in Germany, where laboratory animals fed stone ground flour had higher rates of fertility as opposed to those fed roller mill flour. Malinaldehyde is another one of the compounds that is created when the fats in ground grains or flour rancidify or oxidize. Malinaldehyde has some of the greatest negative impacts on health. Scientists at the Department of Biochemistry and Applied Biosciences at the University of Miyazaki in Japan have reported the presence of malinaldehyde in plain bread, French bread, and croissants. J. Taggart, reporting in the Proceedings of the Biochemical Society, noted that malinaldehyde reacts with proteins in wheat, resulting in their adulteration. Malinaldehyde has been demonstrated to be associated with a number of human diseases. Malinaldehyde has been demonstrated to be both mutagenic and carcinogenic. Malinaldehyde has been demonstrated to be elevated in 24-hour urine collection of individuals who are at high risk of developing breast cancer. Malinaldehyde has been demonstrated to be significantly higher in patients with gastric carcinoma than in controls. Malinaldehyde has been demonstrated to be elevated in the serum of individuals with coronary heart disease, hypertension, non-insulin dependent diabetes, and diabetic neuropathy. Malinaldehyde also has been found in high concentration in the joints of patients with osteoarthritis. Malinaldehyde has been detected in greater quantity in women who have fertility problems as opposed to those with normal fertility. To summarize, we must reduce the oxidized fat in the diet. Most of the concentrated polyunsaturated oils in the diet are derived from nuts, seeds, or grains which have been ground or crushed. Oxidation of polyunsaturated fats does not readily occur in the raw whole nut, grain, or seed, but does occur in crushed or ground products that are formed from them. The reasons for this are that raw nuts, grains, or seeds contain antioxidant systems that protect the oils from oxidation. They also have protective hulls that prevent the penetration of oxygen. The act of grinding or crushing the nuts, grains, or seeds also increases the surface area so that exposure to oxygen is increased. Simple methods can be employed to protect polyunsaturated fats from oxidation. The major method within our possession to decrease the presence of oxidized lipids in the diet is to eat nuts, grains, or seeds in non-processed form. The second method is to consume all foods in as fresh a state as possible, therefore preserving the natural antioxidants. In the case of products containing nuts, grains, or seeds, maximum freshness can be obtained if individuals utilize freshly flaked or ground grain. We must limit the exposure of ground nuts, grains, or seeds to environmental oxygen. The freshly ground products should be made in the smallest quantities possible. They should be refrigerated in small airtight containers, if possible in a reduced oxygen environment, and consumed shortly after they are made. All the products crafted by Intrinsic Foods are freshly milled the day of preparation. All the ingredients used to make our products are certified as organic. All products are either vacuum packed or packed with oxygen discs to retard oxidation. All items are dated with the date of manufacture to ensure absolute freshness. It is our belief that the process preserves nutrients in the food, increases the taste appeal, and inhibits the presence of peroxides and malinaldehyde, thus contributing to the healthy lifestyle that you are pursuing. We believe that we are utilizing food processing from the past to nourish the future. Please inquire about our family of freshly milled products at 610-252-7781 or visit our store at